Hello Year 2 and welcome back to day 3 of our English lesson. Now yesterday we spoke about 4 different types of sentence. Now can you remember what types of sentence there are? What are they called? Can you pause the video and then say the 4? But they're commands, questions, statements and exclamations, okay? So brilliant work on that yesterday, but today before we get into it, I wanted to read out some of your really brilliant excuses that you wrote about on Monday, okay? So our first excuse comes from Edward, and he said he was late to school because a giant bird sat on him. Can't imagine that being very pleasant. The next one is from Isaac C. So I was late to school because I was playing Minecraft. I think that's quite a good excuse. So I am late, Mr. Patrick, because a shark was in the bath. Okay, and that's from Rui. I think that was brilliant. I have no idea how you got a shark in the bath. But anyway, that's an absolutely brilliant excuse. And then we've got the next one. So, sorry I'm late, sir. A rhino stole my clothes. And that's from Isaac D, which is brilliant. I don't know why a rhino would need your clothes, but I think they're all quite very humorous and valid excuses. Wicked. Now, to start our lesson, we are going to look at a different book, and this book is called Dear Teacher by Amy Husband. And this is a book about a boy called Michael, but instead of using excuses and telling it to his teacher, he would write letters to his teacher. Okay, so what I want you to do, I want you to have a listen to this story, and then we will get into it afterwards. Cool.
Hello and welcome to Storytime with Miss Gray. Today we're reading Dear Teacher by Amy Husband. So the book is it's designed to be an envelope, so I'm going to open it up and have a look what's inside. Okay. Says, Dear Michael, we are looking forward to welcoming you back to school for the start of the new year. I hope you've had a really fun break and are ready to dive into lots of learning. This year your class will be working especially hard in math, history, geography and English. I am sure that if you study carefully, you will find those spelling tests can be a fun challenge. Your new teacher is called Miss Brooks. She has all sorts of exciting plans for the new year. We look forward to seeing you on Monday. Yours sincerely, Mr. N.T. Grinstone, the principal. So, Dear Teacher, I might be a bit late for the first day of school. The weirdest thing happened today. The head of the Secret Service turned up. They need me for a special secret mission to find a missing explorer. I did mention the math test, but he just said that the future of the country depends on me. I couldn't say no. Sorry, Miss Brooks. From Michael. Fingers crossed I'll be back in time for the test. P.S. Bruno's coming with me. He makes a great bloodhound. P.P.S. The stuff I've told you is top secret, so please eat this letter. Dear Teacher, the explorer was stuck on top of Mount Everest. We rescued him and Bruno was awesome. I've never seen a dog go that fast before. The explorer told me about an ancient treasure map hidden in Egypt. He has a bad cold, so he wants me to search for the map. I did tell him I had to get back for the math test, but this is really important. I will probably only be a few hours late for the first day of school. From Michael. P.S. Please don't let Nicholas sit in my place. Dear Teacher, I'm really sorry, but I'll actually be a couple of days late for school. We hired a motorcycle and raced to the pyramids, but some baddies chased us. Luckily, I'm an excellent driver and we got away and hid on board a boat. Honest, Miss Brooks, I didn't know it was going to the Amazon River. The map says the treasure is hidden there, so I might as well find it. From Michael. P.S. I'll really miss the homework. This one is a telegram. It says, Teacher, Amazon very hot and dangerous. No sign of treasure. Sorry about the ripped paper. Attacked by croc. Living off beetles and spiders. Really miss peanut butter sandwiches. Will be even later now. Hippo 8 compass. Michael. P.S. Oh no, snakes can swim. Dear Teacher, we found the hidden treasure. We're out of the Amazon. Phew. It was hidden behind a waterfall, not by a river. Bruno was holding the map the wrong way. never trust a dog with a map. We'll head home as soon as we can find some transportation. The bad news is I'll be really late for the start of school. Sorry. From Michael. This is all still top secret, so don't tell anyone. Dear teacher, we found a boat home, but pirates attacked us. The Pirate King tied us up, stole the treasure, and made us walk the plank. Thank goodness Bruno and I are such good swimmers. I'm going to get the treasure back. This could make me really, really late. I'm really sorry, Miss Brooks, but I can't let the Pirate King get away with this. From Michael. P.S. Please don't let Nicholas use my markers. P.P.S. I don't mind if he takes my turn at tidying the storage cupboard. Dear teacher, we found out where the pirates are going and we've hired an aeroplane to try to cut them off. Wish us luck. Will be a little longer than I thought, but don't worry, Miss Brooks. I can't wait to catch up on all the work. From Michael. P.S. Bruno makes a super co-pilot, except when he tries to chase birds. Dear teacher, we've tracked the pirates as far as the Orient Express now. We nearly caught them a few times. Need to get Bruno a hair tie for his ears. But they keep getting away. We'll get them soon, I know it. I probably won't be back for a while now. Sorry. From Michael. P.S. It's probably best not to mention this to Mum if you see her in the supermarket again. Dear teacher, I've got some good news and some bad news. We caught the Pirate King trying to steal a rocket. Bruno and I stopped him though. Now for the bad news. I'm not going to be coming back ever. I'm really disappointed, especially about the science test. NASA wants me to go on a space mission. I'll be on the moon for a gazillion years. I told them about the maths tests, but they said that the future of the planet has to come first. Bruno's coming too, so I won't be lonely. From Michael. P.S. Tell Nicholas he can use my markers as long as he puts the lids back on properly. Dear Michael, thank you for your letters. It sounds as though you've been very busy. I am sorry to hear you won't be coming back to school this year. There is so much planned that you would have enjoyed, not including all the tests. We are going to be playing lots of soccer this year. I expect Nicholas will have to be the captain now, and there's a science fair at midterm where everyone gets to invent something. We're going on a school trip to the zoo next week. You'd have loved it. You could have told everyone about hippos, snakes, dolphins, and of course, crocodile wrestling. I'm not so sure about eating spiders though. We're also having swimming lessons, which I think you would have been very good at. Bruno sounds like a very unusual dog. It would have been great to meet him on Pets Day later this semester. Take care on the moon, Michael. I hear it can get a bit boring up there. We will think of you when we're making our giant model of the solar system. We'll save your place for Monday morning in case you can make it back to school after all. Miss C. Brooks. P.S. I saw your mother in the supermarket again today. Your baby brother was dressed as a pirate. What a coincidence. I nearly made a citizen's arrest as I thought he was the Pirate King. This one is a postcard. Dear Mum and Dad, the school trip to the zoo is awesome. In fact, it's so good, I'm not coming home. The zookeeper asked me to stay here to work with the wild animals. Miss Brooks said it would be okay with you. Don't bother her about this though. I'll let you know when you can come for a visit. Please send Bruno with some peanut butter sandwiches. From Michael. P.S. Nicholas is working here too. I'm letting him do all the sweeping in the elephant and monkey habitats. The end.
Awesome, brilliant. Now what we're going to do is we are going to pick out the really key features of that letter. Okay, so we can find out what features we need to put into a letter when we come to write it at the end of this unit. Now, letters usually start with something. Okay, now this is after the address. It usually says something. It usually says dear. Okay, so usually in a letter you'll have dear. Okay, now I'm going to write dear Mr. Patrick. Just because, okay, so a letter which usually start with Dear, so you know who it's addressed to, okay? Because if this was addressed to somebody else, I wouldn't be reading the letter because it's not addressed to me, okay? And there's another feature of a letter that's very important, and that is the first person. Okay, now letters are written from your point of view, okay? So they're written from you. So you're going to use words like I and me. So I and me, okay? Because you're telling the letter, okay? You're writing the letter from your point of view. Also, to conclude a letter, you're going to need to sign it off so that the person reading it knows that that is the end of the letter, okay? And there's lots and lots of different ways you can finish a letter. For example, you could write from, okay? But what we are going to do in a second is we're going to list all the different ways that you can end a letter, and then we are going to order them to how appropriate we think they are to sign off a letter. So we've got from, we've got love from, we've got best wishes, we've got yours sincerely, and we've got yours faithfully. Okay, now there's lots of others that you can have, but what is going to happen in a sec, these are going to pop up on your screen so you can see them a bit better, but I want you to order them from 1 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1 to 5, which you think is the most appropriate way of concluding or signing off from a letter. Okay, so have a go at that. They're going to come up on your screen, and have a go at ordering those 1 to 5. Cool, hopefully you are able to number those 1 to 5. We're just going to go through this quickly. So the most appropriate one would probably be yours sincerely. Okay, this is the one you're going to write to be a bit more professional. Okay, now after this you might have put yours faithfully, but yours faithfully I'm actually going to put as 5, because I think in terms of how appropriate it is for a letter, you write yours faithfully, put an S there, yours faithfully, when you don't know the person's name. But we're going to be writing letters to the people that we do know, okay? So actually we're not even going to be using yours faithfully, okay? We would be using yours sincerely, okay? So yours faithfully is if you don't know the name. Now after that, you've got best wishes, from, and love from, okay? And I would say the next appropriate is probably going to be best wishes, okay? So let's put that as 2. Okay, because it's quite a nice way, it's still slightly professional, and then after that we've got from and love from. Okay, so from and love from is you're probably just going to do to friends and acquaintances, so I would say this is next, and love from is usually to your close family members, your best friends. Okay, so I'm going to put that as 4, because if you're writing to a teacher, you're probably not going to write love from. Okay, you're probably going to write from, best wishes, or yours faithfully. Awesome, now that we've done that, can you remember what happened at the end of the book John Patrick Norman McHenessy, the boy who was late for school? So right at the end of the story. Now I've been told that John Patrick Norman McHenessy had wrote a letter to Mr. Gorilla asking him to sort his teacher out, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read that letter for you. It's going to come up on your screen, so read along and follow with your finger if you need to while I read. And then I'd like you to really think about these features that we've talked about in a letter and see if you can spot them in this letter, okay? So we've spoken about dear, we've spoken about the first person, and we've also spoken at how we conclude a letter, okay? So let's have a listen to this and try and pick out those key features.
3rd of September. Dear Mr. Gorilla, I'm sorry to disturb you. I have a favour to ask. Please can you come and lift my teacher and carry him up to the ceiling? I think he needs to get a different view of the world, and especially of his classroom. It will be better for everyone if he does. I'll be really happy if you can do this. Hoping you are well, John Patrick Norman McHenessy. P.S. It would be really good if you could come soon.
Wicked, so hopefully you're able to spot those key features in that letter. Okay, so now we're going to talk about another key feature. Now have a look at the letter. It's going to pop up on the screen again. What is that thing in the top right hand corner called? Okay, so that is called the address. That's something else that's very important when writing a letter, because the postman needs to know who to deliver it to. There's no address, the letter's probably not going to get to that person because the postman is going to have no idea what to do with it. Okay, so when you're writing an address, normally what happens is your name would start off. So let's write my name. So I'm going to write my full name. Okay, so this is my first name, Bruce. Notice how I've put a capital letter. My middle name, Samuel. And then my last name, Patrick. Notice all of my capital letters to start off. Now, what you're going to do the same thing as this after this. So I'm now going to write an address. Okay, this isn't my actual address, so don't go looking it up. I'm writing a random address now, so I apologise if it is someone's address, but 26 Orchards. Okay, so let's say that's my house number, my road, it's called the Orchards. Let's do Yapton, which is a village. Okay, Yapton, and let's do a postcode. Okay, so let's do PO 24 2ZY, and then we're going to put West Sussex because that's where this is. And then obviously if you're going out of the country or writing from a different country, you're going to have England. Okay, so what I want you to do at home is to practice writing your full name and your home address, okay, because this we're going to practice for when we write a letter, so we know how to write addresses. Okay, so do this with your adult at home and talk about all the different parts. Okay, what is this part? It's the house number. Why have you got a postcode? Why have you got West Sussex written here? Okay, so have a chat about that and we'll come back into it. Okay, so now for the main activity. So we have looked at some key features of letter writing, and we've also looked at writing an address, which is what we've just done. So what I would like you to do now is you're going to write a postcard that includes your name and address, okay? And you can write it to your friend, a family member of your choice. Maybe you want to write it to a pet, okay? So you're going to write a postcard, okay? A postcard, which is a form of letter. Okay, you're going to include your name and your address. Okay, you're also going to use the word dear, and then you're going to write the person's name. You're going to be writing in the first person. And you also need to conclude it, okay? So you could do best wishes, from, okay, any of those concluding words we used at the start of the lesson. Okay, so have a go at that. Write your postcard. This is your success criteria. This is what you need to include in it, and away you go. So well done for today's lesson, and I will see you tomorrow for day 4.